So the first thing we notice is that y is already by itself in both equations. So we can take the second equation, and instead of writing y equals, we can substitute x plus 2 all squared minus 1 in instead of y. Graham, Marge, thank you. We are trying to record this, so if you want to watch this later, you can. Thank you. All right. So we'll get x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 1 equals x squared minus 4x minus 5. Since it's a quadratic equation, you probably tried to move everything over to one side. So you subtracted x squared on both sides. You added 4x to both sides. And you added 5 to both sides. But when you subtracted x squared from both sides, the x squareds went away. And you were left with just 8x plus 8 equals 0. So to get x by itself, there's only one value for x to solve for. And when x is equal to negative 1, you could plug that back into either one of your original equations, and you get y is equal to 0. So our solution, and we always write our solution as a point, because it's an intersection, negative 1 comma 0. Now you have some space at the top of the page, right, above this question. Oh, by the way, did I say question number 7 last time? Okay. I meant to say 3 and 5 for the last one and 7 for this one, but it'll work out to be about the same. So do 3 and 5 for this one and 7 for the last one, and you should be fine. Now at the top of the page on 394, you have some space. We're going to do what happens, what does it look like when you're solving and you have the infinite solutions. So I'm going to make an equation. Yes. So there's two equations, x plus 3 squared minus 5 and y equals x squared plus 6x plus 4. What does it look like when there's infinite solutions? Because these equations are exactly the same parabolas, just written in different ways. So when you go to solve it and you do the substitution, and you expand it, you're going to get x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 5 equals x squared plus 6x plus 4. And when you move everything over to one side, everything cancels out. And you get a statement that's always true. Is it true that 0 is equal to 0? Yes. Okay. Maybe you move the x squared over and the 6x over first, and you ended up with 4 is equal to 4. That is true as well. That's always true. If you get something that is always true, and it's always true, that means you have infinite solutions. If it's always true and there's no variable left, there's no x left, there's going to be infinite solutions. If you got something that's never true, 4 is equal to 3, right? Then that would be no solutions. That would also be always true, yes. So you could, at that point, like you're saying you simplified both sides and see x squared plus 6x plus 4 is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 4. That's obviously always true as well. And at that point you say there's an infinite solutions, you would be fine. It just sometimes feels weird though if you haven't seen one of these and you're solving and you're like, 5 is equal to 5. What do I do? Right? And you might even say, oh, maybe I make x equal 5. Don't do that. When you get something that's always true, it means that there's an infinite amount of solutions.